I stand firmly in the fact that I'm one of the best to ever do this. For the culture, for my coast, and for my city. This is the Best Rapper in LA podcast. And I'm your host, Murs. What up, though? Yo, Rilla, 9-5, motherfucker. Get live, motherfucker. Oh, man. I remember, this is how old I am, y'all. I remember that song, that quote is from Who Shot You, which is a B-side to Unbelievable, which songs I had for a while, maybe 93, 94, thanks to my brother Andre Lowe, once again for getting me the Biggie Ready to Die original version, demo tape, whatever, before Bad Boy had a distribution deal. And I was here on Central Avenue working at the cleaners every day, hanging clothes, pulling them out of the machine, and blasting that in my cassette deck, Walkman. My kid wants an iPod for his birthday. I think I'm going to get him a Walkman. My 7-year-old has a Walkman. He listens to Turnstile and Prince. Anyway, there's so many great lines about Walkman. With my Walkman turned up to 10, Boogie Monsters transcend with the... So for all you younger people listening, please go back and get the Boogie Monsters album, or at least listen to Recognize Thresholds of Negative Stress. I believe if they went gold with that, that's amazing. Never in the history of hip-hop has there been such a wordy, vocabularic havoc type of title for such an amazing single. I could always tell because I walk with the 12 inches to school and then people would be like, what's that? And then when they would know it, I'd be like, oh, okay, this record's catching on. And that record was catching on. I think they're a Christian rapper. Shout out to Boogie Monsters. Any hoodle, I was listening to that Biggie album, but Who Shot You was a newer song. And that's another reason, like, I put on Twitter one time, like, I'm a huge Biggie fan, and I'm not even a fan of Tupac. It's you know, with me, it's next level. But their beef didn't stop me from enjoying their music individually. Life After Death is still the second best double album of all time. E40 Element of Surprise being the first.
Surprise, nigga! Surprise, the elements of that picture. Surprise, nigga! Surprise. Time to go get some drip back. Never sit back. Watch out, I wait on a motherfucker to come and get you with a motherfucker like me get hit back. Get some spit back. Attack a motherfucker hella quickly with a 20 gauge. Roll a dealer. Have ass first. No remorse. St. Valentine's Day massacre. Trying to get a partner dude in the
Drake Scorpion being number 3.
All of this disorder, no address, and the crown is broken in pieces, but there's more in my possession. There's a whole lot in my possession. Who do you really love? Well, that's sure to be in question. My Mount Rushmore is me with 4 different expressions. Who's giving out this much return on investment? After my run, man,
All Eyes on Me being number 4.
Big Terrace. Y'all know how this shit go. You know. All eyes on me. Motherfucker, G. Roll up in the club and shit. All eyes on me. All eyes on me.
All great records. Impactful records to me. I would say Pac and Biggie had a more effect on the whole culture as a whole. Yeah, that song was just amazing. I'm blasting it. So when I posted on Twitter that it was like insensitive. Like it was after Tupac got shot. You know he's locked up. If you had nothing to do with it, why do that? And a lot of hip hop journalists from the East Coast got in my DMs like, you know better, and you know that it was Diddy that made him do that, and But I was like, I don't know shit. I was a kid, bro. Like, I don't know. I wasn't in like, I think what happens is like, when you get older, you feel like, 50 and 45, like there's not really a difference. But then when you're younger, like there's a lot of older people I grew up listening to, like, yeah, our era. I'm like, I'm not in your era, bro. I wasn't outside with y'all. Like, that's a big difference. It's not a big difference once you get over the hill, as they say. Maybe that's why they say over the hill for many other reasons, but maybe that's it too. Because once on the other side of that, it doesn't 50, 42, 43, you're all the same age. Getting colonoscopies regularly. But before that, like I was 15, you were 21, you were in clubs I wasn't in. You were in spaces I wasn't in the industry. I had no idea, and I don't know if that's true. I'm not putting nothing on Diddy or Biggie. I don't know if Biggie knew, had nothing to do with it, knew Tupac got, I don't know. But I know that he got shot, and I know that it was insensitive. And unless you're trying to get on a nigga nerves, why do that, And the motherfucker's wild or pretending to be wild, depending on who you ask. So I was just like on Twitter, like when someone was talking about the history, I was like, yeah, I never thought about it. Like at that point, I hadn't thought about it like that. I love both artists. And like I graduated the class of 95. We're at the after prom, which we talked about last week, where my mother basically paid me to go in Fat Farm and another, what I ended up getting for free. But anywho, the after prom was where it was at for me. The limo listening to Biggie screaming 9-5 motherfucker out the window of the sunroof of the limo we all rented. Like that was the moment for me. I didn't drink, I didn't smoke. I was just high on hip hop and being out of that fucking institution. And that shit was like 9-5 motherfuckers.
Get live, motherfuckers. As we proceed.
And if you graduate in 93, you got us beat. I couldn't admit that back then, but I can admit that. 93, this is how we chill from 93 till. You won. And everyone's like, you guys are old as fuck. But I don't think they were making songs like that in the 2000s for you youngsters who graduated then. But imagine that. So like that's what, I've been introducing these. This is the impressionable era. All the 10 albums that influenced my life happened between 93, 95. Like this is my golden era, what shaped me as a human, an artist, a man. The albums, some of them, unfortunately, like I go back like, shit, I'm gonna play this for my kids. Maybe not. My mom put me on the Phoebe Snow and all the things she used to listen to, and that was fine. Stevie Wonder, the Beatles, shit like that. But I can't share certain music with my kids until they're of age. And I'm a parent who lets their kids curse and all that shit. But the subject matter is like, wow, the B word and the N word are harsh, man. And it was just entering my psyche. They left us out here to die, y'all. The Gen Xers, they just didn't give a fuck about us, bro. Take this gangster rap, these television programs, not TV shows. They were programming us. Turn us over to the fucking state institutions called school districts, and we're going to just keep the lights on for you guys. Be in by the street lights, and we'll make sure you have 3 hots and a cot. But as far as like getting in tune with who you are, we have no idea. We talked about it on the podcast, man. Like my mom had no idea what we were dealing with and didn't have time to. Anyway, 95. These are the lost years. This is why I'm rambling, because these are the lost years. I fucked up. We're not going to go to Love and Rockets 316. We're going to save that for when it comes chronologically, because I'm still investing money. Some would say losing money, promoting this record, and I have feelings attached to everything that's happening. Right, I cannot objectively give my thoughts on the album yet because I'm still involved. And believe it or not, a month after, I'm still working this record. We just got the street team, I just sent out the street team budget, got the flyers done. Shout out to Pike. The wheat pasting is going up in LA. If I get my payment, then from the label, then I will continue to promote into New York, Atlanta, Chicago, put some wheat paste posters up. I'm going all out, man. I think a lot of people. I did one interview with the homie Palm. If you want to check him out, PALM. Pretty awesome lit music, chillin' Dylan. He was an intern at Hip Hop DX when I started doing the breakdown, and I promised him an interview. And even when I decided I'm not doing interviews for this record, I wanted to keep my word to him because his father was a very important person in this industry. And yeah, I just like his energy. He's a kid hustling, trying to get his blog and his reviews and everything. So if you can follow me, check out Palm. But I did an interview with him. It was like a 3-hour interview.
Hey, with F.A.M.I.L.Y, who on the new album, who produced it?
It's all Jesse Shakin.
Oh, okay.
And there's some co-producers, and I'll let Jesse
Because
explain.
that kind of had that ant feel to it, you know?
I tried to get Brother Ali on it.
Yeah. Because when you said I'd rather be with my family on the streets than in Dubai in a penthouse suite, I was like, I felt that one.
Yeah, that's definitely dad rap. You know, my producer is a dad. Like, me and Jesse have been making music together for 30 years. He's done Chandelier for Sia. He's produced for Rihanna. Like,
that's incredible.
But in there, we discuss a little bit of what's going on with Love Rockets 316. I heard from him and Ali and a couple other people that sound like, you know, some songs. I'm imitating Lil Yachty. I'm not done rapping, and I'm by far not done promoting this record. We got a couple more videos coming. Street team, like I said, I'm not of this new era. I'm operating this new era, but I don't have to operate by, okay, that's done. What's next? I did 4 weeks of promotion. Now I want to move. Fuck that. Y'all gonna get this work until next month. I'm gonna work this shit for a whole year. I still got a European tour coming up, trying to get some Japanese dates. I got 4 more dates in the States coming up. We had 9, but I'm really just not feeling performing. So we're gonna do 4 more markets in the US that we didn't hit on the other time. I think it's gonna be Dallas, Austin, Vegas, and Denver. That's chopped down from 9. And then maybe some Hawaii, Japan, and that's it. Once Ground Wave starts in March, I'm switching full time to my new gig, which seems to be, for now, open mic and mentorship, community, hip hop community programming and organizing. I'll say hip hop community organizing and movement. I just don't like programming. Yeah, so that's why we're not going to move on to 316. A lot of shit's still happening with that. I wanted to settle before I speak to you all about it. And then I realized we did Final Adventure before we did Love and Rockets, and I don't think it happened that way. According to Wikipedia, Love and Rockets 2011, Final Adventure 2012. I think after I did the transformation, we did the Landmark, Cult, whatever the fuck, I realized, like, I've been rapping just to survive. Like, I love hip hop. I never liked being on stage. I never liked being the center of attention. I wanted to be the A&R, then I wanted to be the manager for Miscellaneous Minds, which was Eli, Savant, and Scarab. Then I was going to be their DJ, and I started doing mixtapes with Jesse Shatkin. And then I was still freestyling because I could, and I thought it was fun because I've been doing it since 3rd grade and shit. And I just kind of got pushed. And, you know, that we had a studio time for Sunsprayed, and the group broke up. And so I stepped up, and they told me to be in Miscellaneous Minds, which became Melancholy Gypsies. We came up with the name. And for me, it's just like, it's ideas and marketing. It's still the stuff that makes me want to be an A&R, like putting shit together, seeing where it can go. And people encourage me, like, you're good at this, even though I hated it. And through Landmark, people, like I said, whether you call it a cult or a seminar or whatever, like, I really realized, like, yo, like, fuck am I doing? I don't need to do that. And then Paid Dues was going well. I really loved that. Parts of it, most of it. I got married. I moved to Tucson, where I always wanted to live. My ex-wife picked out the house she wanted. All I wanted was a house with a pool. I had that. I had income property. My grandfather was happy. A lot of it to me was proven to him. When my grandfather came down on me and said I couldn't do this and I was going to wind up being on drugs and various other negative things, and I couldn't make any money, like that was, and my parent and my mom, you know, I had a chip on my shoulder. And I think we didn't talk about it last week, but I'll just talk about, like, the individual who I had worked with somebody who was saying they had a similar chip on their shoulder. They were a boxer. And then they realized, like, I just was one of my dad. Once my dad got in the ring and saw that I was the best, I was done. And that's how I felt after Landmark. I was like, yeah, like, I cut my hair, like, I can just disappear. And also during this time, the lost years, like, I was realizing, like, oh shit. And I feel like we talked about it here. Like, I'm in Tucson, so I'm not getting recognized as much. And, like, I'm not used to not this feeling. And at one point I felt myself getting mad. And I was like, oh, this is it. This is the feeling. Like, I'm maybe made to B list, maybe A- list for a second, especially in LA when I was on MTV and on the posters and billboards and shit. And I was like, oh shit, this is it. When people feel this, they start to do things to elevate their brand again. You do anything to be hot. This is when you hop on certain remixes and you do certain shit. You start making certain records. You start compromising, whether it's, you know, giving up your publishing or doing stuff with people you know you shouldn't do, or rappers you didn't like before because they're hot. You know, and being with Dame told me a lot of stories about motherfuckers coming around there when The Rock was up And motherfuckers that wasn't hot, just like, hey, just make us hot again. Come on, bro. We want to be hot. And he was just like, never be that, you know? And like God puts people with you at certain times. And I really like, I thank God for that time with Dame. And so I felt that and I was like, this is disgusting. This is sick. And so I cut my hair. I'm like, I'm living in Tucson, anonymity. You know, my next goal is like, you know, I'm a student of Wu-Tang and fucking all the other conspiracy theory hop. You know, there's only 4 years left.
Interplanetary alien tribes who seek to conquer our charred remains. This is extinction level event, the final world front, and there is only 1 year left.
I know what's coming, and you can see what's happening now. Like I was like, yo, we're gonna buy some land and we're gonna get the fuck out of here. Get some kids. Now I was wanted to be a dad. And that's when we started looking into adoption and, you know, like, and also like not for profit. Part of the reason I married my ex-wife was because she was in the not for profit sector and I wanted to find ways to give it back. And started like going to church, finding a church. I was trying to do all the things, man, and rapping was not one of them. It's funny, we and my homies were in a bookstore, Barnes & Noble, when there used to be one on Pico and Westwood at the West Side Pavilion. West Side Pavilion was good, square-ass mall you could go to in West L.A., not too many problems. And if it wasn't mostly West Side dudes, so like Fox Hills Mall, you can get some East Siders and some Inglewood niggas. You can get, sorry for the inner word, but you know, that was a risk. And there wasn't a great bookstore there. There's like, you know, that's when I think B. Dalton and we're showing our age here. B. Dalton and what was the other one? But anyway, the chain bookstores before Barnes & Noble, the one when Barnes & Noble was the enemy for eating up those motherfuckers that ate up the real mom and pop bookstores. But yeah, like it had a Barnes & Noble, so we go to the bar, and they had a book called The Lost Years of Jesus, and we were like, what does that mean? Like, how do you be an omniscient being and lose some years? How do you know all, end all, be all, and you lose? And we just start dying. I don't know. This is my homies. We weren't high either, and it's just like, yo, what the fuck? And the West Side Pavilion was also good stoner mall because you didn't have to. I could go there and be high with my mixed crew of friends. That like I had a white guy and a Latino guy and one light skinned black dude. And they were seniors. They used to drive me around. I had weed and they had weed, and we go to. You wouldn't have to be on edge at the West Side Pavilion. You just be high and look at girls and eat food and shit. Shout out to the West Side Pavilion. I took you guys now, but and be annoying teenagers. We run through there stealing shit, yelling shit. And this is one time we're just laughing hilariously in fucking Barnes & Noble about the lost years of Jesus. And I later on I saw the book again. I bought it. I was like, I have to read this book. I have to know what the nerve of you saying that this man lost some years. I'm sure they're talking about the years between 13 and 33, where we don't hear from him. But my homie Propaganda, and if you're a scholar of the words, you know what happened during those years. Anywho, these were my lost years, so I was trying to figure it out. I didn't really, I realized like I never wanted to be in the front, and I was looking for other people to collaborate with. So during this time, I made Melrose with Terrace Martin, which I used to stand on it for a long time as my favorite collaboration.
What up, though? It's Murs. Oh, my boy Terrace Martin. And this is Melrose, man. You know what I'm saying? It's where you come to get fly, man. Check out the hot chicks. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy sunny Southern California today. You know what I'm saying? It's not about no gang banging and no selling no dope, man. This is Melrose, man. It's about, you know what I'm saying, getting fly, having a good time, man. And don't get twisted either. This ain't no lyrical miracle. Chop your head off with my lyricals.
And the most me, up until we got to Love and Rockets 2 and 3, like the most me I've been on a record. Like Terrace and me have an understanding that goes beyond music. He's someone, if we could have probably went to the same school and we would have been friends and making music. I can go and we'll do that probably for Patreon or just later on in the podcast doing the collaboration albums. Hopefully I can get Terrace. I'm never going to get to sit down with me, but he's too busy. But that was my favorite record. There's I'm definitely going to do my version of that on Patreon. Questionable as fuck, but fun. And he just let me do me. He's a do you, I'll fix it later, or I'll do my part, you do your part, because you're a master. I'm not going to tell you. Like, he's a jazz musician. That's why I always tell the story about Terrace Martin. We would party, there'd be pit bulls, women, all kind of shit in this house. Like, he lived in Woodland Hills and we'd be wilding. And then he'd be up without fail, 5, 6 in the morning playing his scales in front of this poster of a picture of Miles Davis, a portrait. Without fail. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, I got to start freestyling. And then Corrupt was coming by, and like Corrupt be up at 7 in the morning rapping hard. Pause. Like I'm like around, these are people I'm like, okay, I need to take influence from the greats. You know, and like, you know, all some of the TDE kids, Scheme, Bad Luck, Problem, like everybody was hanging around at this time. So it was like just a great time to be creating. So, you know, he like, go in there and lay your verse. Cool. Oh, I love that. I'm gonna go lay my verse. Okay, look. All right, next. You know, next. Like it was just like we were just moving in sync. And it wasn't like, I don't care. It was like, I know you got this. I got this. Let's do this. It's not that serious. Let's have fun. And that's the most fun I've ever had recording a project and felt the most understood and trusted and valued. It wasn't no back and forth and honoring shit and ego and none of it, man. But that was like a mutual thing. Like with Felt, I learned from Sean a lot. He is the alpha, the leader, except when Ant comes in. And then we both defer to Ant. Murs Day is a whole nother thing. I just set him with all Mayday at the time. It was like Cash, Noms, Bernie, and Rec in the room. I'm like, okay, who's the alpha? Like, who's the leader? You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, that's you. So then as men, like, that's what I think a lot of men don't do. Like, just establish, like, okay, this like RZA is RZA, and then we'll figure out this is the head coach of the team. Doesn't mean anyone else is important, but we have to have a final say. So we're not in here arguing and wasting time and not, you know. And there's a reason that this, like, we trust him and we trust Bernie's so fucking talented and he makes great music decisions. Great music decisions. That's why Murs Day is a great record. But I established that. I was like, all right. So I was like, look, I'm going to argue with you, but in the end, I'm going to do it your way. So know that I'm not, because I learned with like Felt 3, like I didn't argue with Sean on that record. I was like, whatever you want, bro, because I had money. I didn't give a fuck. Like I knew that I was venturing into a new fan base. I had recognized that fan base wasn't my fan base. So I'm like, people want you and Aesop Rock. These people don't really give a fuck about me. I'm just like the hype man. So like whatever you want to do. And that's why I think Felt 3 is still, man, we're writing at a high level. We're both great rappers at that point. But there wasn't the friction that creates a Felt 4, Felt 2, or Felt 1. And it could be friction up into a point. Like there's a boiling point. And you know, when you establish a limit, when you put a limiter on the boiling, then you just get a nice, you know, cook. You get a nice form. You get a nice end product. And but with Terrace, there was no friction because it was a great play. And he did First Love, which is probably one of the best songs I ever wrote. He just had a conversation with my manager. I felt so bad. This is before he did Mellow. I was like, yo, this motherfucker doesn't even care. And it wasn't that. It's trust. You know? Terrace has never sweated me about it. I love Terrace, man. He was essential during before, like leading into the lost years. There's a great story about the Melrose album cover, which will go on Patreon. When you see it, you'll see it and you'll go, oh shit. Then what else was there? Fashion is somebody who I respected. I had seen him in different, like, you know, coming up in Fresno, and Fresno always held a special place for me. He was a young dude coming up. I felt like I could help him, get him on the road, and, you know, maybe he'd learn something from me, but I just like the way he does hooks. So, like, I just felt like I could learn something from him. So we got K Salam and Beat Nick, but Nick did like most of the music. K Salam, like, I think like fine tunes it. But both of them, shout out to them. When we did This Generation.
Murs. What up, though? Sean. K Salam. Big Nick. Hit me. Yeah. You see, this is just the beginning, man. We giving birth to this generation. Brought to you by the legends. Living legends, nigga. It's bad game. Forever. Let's go.
They didn't care if I lived or died. I didn't smoke weed so I could feel the high. I smoked so I didn't have to feel the lows. A weird nigga that started writing the illest flow.
Just seeing how Fash just came up with shit and seeing his philosophies, and he's somebody that worked with evidence, and evidence is just a real scientist of this shit and just a master rapper producer. So, you know, it's like when you work with Corrupt and he's worked with Dr. Dre, working with Fash, who's worked with Ev, combined with Fash's mind, man. He's funny, he's witty, you know, and so we toured US and the Europe together, did all the paid dues and rock the bells together. Like I spent a lot of time with this young man and, you know, definitely leveled up my writing, being in rooms with him and collaborating with him. I don't think we had a final say either. It was kind of just like his manager at the time, Hectic, would weigh in on some things. I think K-Salam would beat Nick. But he's also just to kind of let it be. And like, you know, for him, he's like, yeah, OG, whatever you want. All right, yep. And I was like, you know, cool. I really like this generation. Van Styles did the artwork for that. Shout out to Steven Vanasco. Took one of my favorite pictures on the inside of that record. If you can get that record, took one of my favorite pictures of King Taco. Yeah, then White Mandingos.
I'm in a black band, I got a black girl, but I don't make music for the black world. And I'm a black man, black as midnight, blacker than Flavor Flav and Fela in a fist fight. I get blackballed when black rappers come around. I'm too black for the motherfucking underground. The white fans barely tolerate my black ass. If I embrace them, I catch a backlash from the black fans. It's so crazy, yo. I sold out if I'm on the black radio, but fuck them and fuck that shit. Y'all can all open up your white teeth and eat a black dick. To the white black boys.
Got a DM from Ted Bono on on Twitter. He was friends with Sasha Jenkins, an older white man, and he said, my friend Sasha would like your number. I was like, fuck, I freaked out because Sasha was just this amazing dude, and was like, would you be in our band? Originally, R.A. the Rugged Man was in the band, but that didn't work out. So me and Daryl Jennifer from Bad Brains, I was like, fucking sure. And it was like a theme album, what I've been waiting to do for a long time. So I was like, yeah, like, okay, we have a story and it's going to be a whole concept record. Cool.
Like Depeche Mode, I love Big Pun, and of course I respect Hov. I'm a walking contradiction, cause I don't speak Ebonics or some contrived diction. I speak in sentences. I am literate. Sorry, I don't fit a category for you idiots. I am just me. You should adjust you. And if you can't understand that, fuck you. To the white black boys. To the black white girls, let's fight back with this noise and attack this world.
Oh, and then Yumiko Curse of the Merch Girl. Curse of the Merch Girl.
Her name is Yumi, the one they call groupie. Since she's at every single show, they're assuming she gotta be screwing somebody in the band, but she's into the music. She ain't tripping off a man. The scene was itty bitty, and in this little city, you can't sing along the songs and be pretty. They threw on their skirts, she threw on some pants. They put on their heels, she slipped on some Vans.
Josh Blaylock, who owns a comic book company called Devils Do Press, pulled up on me and gave me a fuck ton of comics on the Murs for President tour, I believe. And we stayed in touch, and I was going to Comic-Con, so I would see him on the floor, and he had a booth there. His comic company was, you know, thriving. Tim Seeley had a comic with him called Hack Slash. Tim Seeley now writes for Marvel. He's more like comedic, blah, blah, blah. But I think Tim introduced Josh to my music, so shout out to Tim. And Josh is an entrepreneur extraordinaire. And he was like, yo, like you like comics, let's make one. So we went on Fiverr, found a dude to do the art. My DJ Foundation is an amazing producer, amazing DJ. He did the beats. And right around then is when I caught the case for sampling. I think we talked about it on For Never or whatever. So I was really hesitant about sampling because just didn't, like, now I had assets and I didn't want to get my assets seized. And my fucking lawyer was like, I don't do court. So we go to court. I pay you 5% of my fucking income overall every year. That's what you pay a lawyer. You pay your manager 10 to 15 to 20%, your business manager certain amount of percent, and your lawyer. So I got everybody taking percentages. I think my business manager stayed on hourly, but at $300 something an hour. 15% to my management, and 5% of everything I make went to my lawyer. Then when we got the case for the sampling, my dude was like, yeah, we don't do court. So you're going to have to get $3,500 just to start with another, $35,000 to start with another lawyer if this goes to court. And I was like, fuck me, man. So I was like, yeah, no more samples. Fuck that. So then we had to redo Curse of the Merch Girl. So the version you hear on online, shout out to Duck Down for distributing it and also put out This Generation. Shout out to Noah and Drew Ha. They're fucking amazing. I love them. And they put distributed digitally Curse of the Merch Girl. But it's not the best. The original with the original samples is fucking, it's a dope ass album. But I don't count White Mandingos, even though they're solo records, or Yumiko as my solo albums. Because I would have 20. Right now I have 18, not including those. Those narratives were driven by outside forces. Like, we had an editor, and Josh and me came up with the Curse of the Merch Girl story, and Sasha and Daryl helped shaped the narrative for the White Mandingos, the Ghetto's Trying to Kill Me album. Ghetto's Trying to Kill Me might be my best collaborative album. It's just not rap, so I always put Melrose and Murs Day like kind of above those, but I was still hanging on to Melrose. But like best writing overall, like yeah, it's dope. So those things were happening in the lost years, and I was really like trying to collaborate a lot because I realized like I don't want to be a front man. There's just usually not a place in hip hop for someone like me. I should have been writing for someone this whole time, and I really wish I would have been able to do that. Me, Ninth, and one more person, like me writing for that person, would have been dope. But those were the lost years.
I got a condo in Miami, flying out my pussy, cooling on the couch, we eating Girl Scout cookies. I was just a rookie, she took me for $1,000. Pussy so good, I'm still a #1 fan.
I used to have a fetish for them dead presidentes. Now these Commodores, they got me going Cal Menendez.
Murs Day was that was the beginning of the strange music era.
With these killers, the Matrix paying for dinner.
Circle full of winners, paper percenters. I need that bread ball. Everybody running round for green, they get their heads blown. Cashing in on ATMs, close accounts with crazy friends. What they'll do for dollars never ceases to amaze the man.
Flash in the pan, hella money in my hand.
Smash for the stands just so I can feed my fam.
Never crash in the land when I'm trying to get the grand.
I got 50 Bitcoin worth about $100,000.
Yeah, I'm still doing paid dues. I'm floating. Then there's some issues with the filing of the taxes for paid dues. And let's just say it wasn't favorable for me and I wasn't at fault.
I used to have this festival called Paid Dues, but I never fully got paid, dude. The IRS though, they think I did, and now they after the kid shit. And I'm the only one in my household that go to work. Ain't getting no pussy, so now I got a jerk. Feeling like a jerk, and that ain't never gonna work. Playing positive, but ain't getting none of the perks. What to do when your IG popping off? Snapchat got the gym rat panties dropping off, saying all she want is this dick. Whether it's hard or soft, closest I've been to pussy is fish sticks and tartar sauce. And I ain't trying to be no murder boss. Fuck around and she done pissed Nick Carter off. This nigga Tech got me high, now I finally got a good alibi. So check it out, I got a blunt and a hoe. I ain't about to spend my whole day stuck in the funk, so I'm about to get drunk.
My business manager, like I used to come to her like concerned, like, am I spending too much money? She's like, bro, all you do is go to the movies, the comic book store, and Best Buy. She's like, you should see what other people are buying with the money that you have. You're good. So I get nervous. So I'm like, all right, shit. Taxes, blah, blah, blah. Like, I could have sold some property and been good and just paid the IRS. But I was like, fuck it. This is God telling me that I'm not done. I wanted to retire right then. I was like, fuck, transformation. Like the transformation is me transforming into a husband and a dude who works at Starbucks or whatever the fuck I'm going to do because I'm done. I am done. And then I was like, all right, well, I got to come back and rap for money. And around Forever, 2010, 2011, before Love and Rockets, I always feel like I could lead. When I was on Def Jux, I wanted to lead everybody in a different direction. I didn't do a LP produced album. Ha ha ha, joke's on me. Because I feel like I want to contribute. My friends giving me a chance. Let's do, after I did End of the Beginning, I could have went in and did a Def Jux album produced by Blockhead and Ace and L, or all Ace. Like, I had options. But I found Ninth and I was like, cool, like I want to do something different, something to me more black. And like, I know that LP is not a weird, like he's not like some of the dudes who are white rappers surrounded by white people with no connection to black culture, making their version of hip hop. LP came up in Brooklyn around lots of black people when it was dangerous to be a white rapper. And I said this on Tyler's podcast. And of course, the white rappers I'm talking about tried to say something to me on Instagram.
It was a lot harder to be a white rapper when we were coming up, especially in Brooklyn or Oakland. Like, Grouch went through a lot. People used to throw pennies at him just because he was white.
Right.
Like, it was just like, boo you off stage, fuck you, the devil, white man is the devil.
Right.
Like, you know, LP came up in the Black Watch era, and I think he fucked with some of those dudes. Like,
he did. He made his name and mark, and he didn't compromise. He wasn't out there trying to be black.
Yeah, no. And
I
I was like,
Productor was like, I'm a white kid from Brooklyn, you know, and I'm like, this is what white kids from Brooklyn who went to that hip hop shit, this is what we do.
I'm not white, so I can't speak on it. I just have my opinion. It's an informed opinion, but it is not maybe an opinion that should be shared. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm an authority. I'm just giving my experience, and I feel like there should be space for that. And when I'm saying from respect, I'm saying there is a struggle. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying that I don't think Lil Pump grasped what fucking LP did. There's a lot of white rappers on the internet that don't grasp what LP, Grouch, Mr. Dibbs, Slug, Eli went through to push the needle. LP, A$AP Rock. Like, it wasn't easy for them. Not that it's easy now for a white rapper. I wouldn't know how it is for a white rapper because I don't have any young white rapper friends, but I know that it wasn't easy for my friends. And amongst the struggle of an oppressed culture, like, yeah, amongst the struggle of black men and women, and you're not going to get much shine on your struggle, but I Eminem, I'm sure. Like, I see it, bro. I've seen it. I saw it. I was there. So I just want to acknowledge that. And if you're offended by that made me feel weird. But none of my friends were offended by it, or at least they didn't tell me. None of the people I mentioned, it was the people that never liked me to begin with. Anyway, I was like, yo, like, I want to do an album that's more like black boom bap hip hop and add some, like, keep the Def Jux berth wide. I'm not going to let them pigeonhole this as some weird fucking label. This is hip hop. Like, the same thing with Pay Dues. I'm going to put the full spectrum out there. And so I chose that. And then when I was thinking of going to Strange the first time, I was like, yeah, like, I see what you have, Tech, but everybody, this whole thing is kind of relying on you. Is somebody going to step out and say, I don't want a Tech feature? And that's why the Murs Day, I was like, I'm with Mayday. I'm like, we're in Miami, bro. Like, I don't know if I told the story. Like, me and Danger Mouse bought I've been really thinking about Danger Mouse lately. My son was listening to Danger Doom for the first time. He's like, my 2-year-old, he's 2.5. He's like, that's not you, Daddy. That's your friend. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to say that MF Doom is not my friend. I'm not going to tell him we're listening to Danger Doom and you think this your friend. I was like, you like him? Because he doesn't like a lot of rap. That's not me. I have one child that kind of really is obsessed with my raps. And that's him. So he was like, no, I like it. I like it. He's good. And so I was like, cool. Like, and yeah, so if you like him and you think he's my friend, I mean, I met MF Doom a couple times, so I think he could pick me out of a lineup. So I'm going to just say that we were friends, and I'm going to let that rock, but I'm going to publicly let you all know that I may be like just fudging the truth, you know. Santa Claus, MF Doom, Tooth Fairy, I know all those motherfuckers. They're my friends. So yeah, my friend MF Doom.
As you call them, they call you when they need something. Trees for the blunt, to G's for the front. I found a way to get peace of mind for years and left the hell alone. Turn a deaf ear to the cellular phone. Send me a letter or better, we can see each other in real life. Just so you can
anyway, me and Danger Mouse had a condo. I told him not to pay me for a song we did. I think it was To a Black Boy. We did 2 songs, Paint by Numbers and I think To a Black Boy.
Dear Marcus, I know it's been hard times since they made you the victim of your so-called crime. Kinda snatched you out the game of life. In your prime, they already took one. Won't let them take 9. Since birth, it seems the deck was stacked against you to fail. With your father not there, mom's in and out of jail. But you saw through it all and you chose to excel. I can't see why they chose to lock you in a cell. Well, I'm praying that you're free by the time you get this. Never known a convict with a 396 GPA, but in Rome, GA. Black boys having sex with white girls, no way. Most any other state.
Like, we became friends. We were supposed to do a project, and he kind of just got taken aboard the mothership to F.A.M.I.L.Y. We went from having diner at Red 26 in Silver Lake or Los Feliz to, if you say Los Feliz, you're not from Los Angeles. If you say Houston and not Houston, you're not from New York type shit. If you say San Pablo, you're not from Oakland. It's San Pablo. Certain things. I know it's pronounced Feliz, but it's Los Feliz. To having, you know, vegan diner food or vegetarian diner food at the time to fucking He was on cover of Time magazine months later and on CNN 2 weeks later. So we didn't really get to work together, but we had this money and we got this apartment on South Beach and thought I wanted to live in Miami because just the weather and blah, blah. And I ended up having, I think I saw like a very famous rapper on the corner dying to be noticed in his throwback jersey and chain because there's so much money and so many fly motherfuckers down there. It's not Hollywood. Miami's on a whole nother, South Beach is on a whole nother level. I had never been to Miami. When I got with Murs Day, I went to Miami and I was like, oh, this is dope. This is like East LA by the beach type shit. Like Washington Heights and East LA by the beach. Like nobody speaking English to me, even though I'm black as fuck. And then once they hear that I don't speak English, they still speak Spanish to me. I love this place. Because my Spanish is going to get better that way. It's like there's a meme about like when you're trying to learn a language and then you speak it to the person, you're not speaking it well, so then they want to work on their English with you. It's like, no, motherfucker, I need you to not speak English with me. Like Calle Ocho, that whole fucking neighborhood, you go live there for a couple. If you want to work on your Spanish, just live there for a month. Nobody will speak English to you, no matter how much English you speak to them. It was forcing me to figure shit. I loved it. I love my brothers in Mayday. I love the city and EFN, Boris. Like I just love being introduced to real Miami. Had I met them back then, I would have never moved. I would have never moved to Tucson. My life would be different. But when I'm with them, the whole point is like when I got Strange Music, I was like, bro, like what the fuck? No, I don't want us to have a tech feature unless we really need him on a song. And like let our boy live. Like he's been carrying everybody. Like let's strike out and do something new. Like let's build a lane. Like I foolishly thought like, okay, I can build a Murs lane if I have the support. As we were talking about last week, like I love the staff. I love the label. Like let's try to help Trav and Tech really branch off. So I'm like, yo, like you guys are from Miami. You guys are showing me so much great shit and fun shit. Why is a motherfucker holding a slingshot in Armageddon on your album cover? Like, what is all this fucking doom and gloom, bro? You're fucking Latinos from Miami, or most of you. I think by then now, Rec is an honorary Latino. You have to talk to that delegation about it. But you guys are kids from Miami. What the fuck are we doing, man? We're drinking whiskey, like having just a great time, bro. Why? So I made them like, I think it's Stevan. Did Stevan come down and take these pictures? I think he did. Shout out to Stevan Oreo. I was like, yo, let's get a great photographer that's not one of the Strange Music people. Let's make the cover white and bright and silly and fun. And let's shoot fun videos. Even though we shot the My Own Parade video, it was fucking raining because fucking Miami. But like, let's do some fun shit, man. And but I wanted to be in a group. That's why I wanted to do art direction. I wanted to do marketing. Like I had this idea. And a lot of shit fell through. A lot of shit fell through the cracks and got fucked up beyond our control. And yeah, like I you know, it was part of my fault. Like I think if Murs Day would have toured with Tech, that would have been the best way to like use the Tech tour as a jumping off tour. But we weren't given that option. I wasn't denying that part. I thought we needed to jump like off with this record, and then like we could do a solo Mayday record, solo Murs record, and then go out on our own and do Murs Day songs on that tour because we had introduced the brand. Because I think, to me, I was like, yo, there's lots of kids into this music that were really kind to me after the show that maybe don't always feel so King of Darkness. They're technicians for sure, but there's a light side to this shit. Let me be a more, you know, a fun, more hip hop version in this strange universe, like with full respect to the snake in the bat. So I was going to drop Have a Nice Life. They were going to drop their next record. And to me, like, but we didn't get the tour. And I think that hurt Murs Day a lot. I'm not mad at anybody. You know, it wasn't like everybody's looking to get on the road with Tech for sure. But yeah, Murs Day dropped. It was number 1 on iTunes. And we, like I said, I'll go on Patreon. I'll go in on that. And hopefully one day we can sit down with all the guys and talk about it. Because I'm sure they have interest. I was very interesting to them. That's where the Bitcoin skit came from Josh Blaylock, who we did Curse and Merch Go with. He was like, when we did Curse and Merch Go, we did a Kickstarter campaign. And it was like I think Blue Scholars was before us, so one of the first hip hop campaigns before De La did it. And it was thank you to everyone who funded that. And then he came to my house in Tucson and we packed up all the orders and signed all the books. I had a booth at Comic-Con. I had been on panels at Comic-Con, but then I had my own booth on the floor at Comic-Con. You couldn't tell me shit. And we were shitting off the shit in Tucson. We went to breakfast and he said, yo, get your phone out. I'm going to pay you in Bitcoin. I said, what the fuck is that? This is 2012, late 2012, early 2013. No, says it came out 2012, July. So he's like, yo, And I'm like, all right. And he explained to me what Bitcoin is. I get so excited. But like back then, like it wasn't really a lot of podcasts. There wasn't really a place I could stay in contact with it, connected with it. And I fucked up. But yeah. But that's why I felt so confident talking about it on Murs Day. And I said I have 50 Bitcoin worth $100,000, and motherfuckers laughed and on Twitter when that song dropped. And now what? But I didn't I should have bought more Bitcoin. But I'm never in anything for money. I want to figure out how, I've been figuring out how cryptocurrency can help artists. If I wanted to make money, I would have been in investment bankers. If you want to make money, you don't want to be in the music business. It's not a business. It's a shit show. But there's some good art and good experience and fun to be had. And there's a little money to be made. But if you want to make real money, there's a million other things you could do. Making music isn't one of them. They just make black kids and brown kids, I think that. Or they make creatives think that, so they still have control over us. Because I think that's what we're lacking, is creatives having control to say things and do things that stimulate the masses and move them in the right direction. So the music industry, I don't think it was created for that. I don't think motherfuckers are that smart. But once they figured it out, like, oh, this is how okay, you want to be creative? Don't do your own thing. Don't be creative with your business. We'll handle that. You just be creative with the product, and then we'll handle the rest. Yeah. But it's not a great place to make money. So I didn't focus on Bitcoin. I've never been, especially after the transformation and the landmark thing. I realized like, oh, I'm just still trying to prove something to my grandfather, and I've already proved it. So I could stop. So I just wanted to do things that were creative and help. Like I felt like Strange Music is a worthy organization, and I want to help. I want to serve. That's kind of what I was like. Def Jux L always told me, I was like, yo, like whatever you want me to do, I'm gonna do. I'm serving in the Def Jux army. Like I'm really good at like not being a leader, because that's not what I want to do. And I could be a great soldier. And so I just wanted to be a great soldier in the Strange Music army. And I guess that's what's going to lead us. I had to deal with Mellow Music on the table. I declined that. Shout out to Mellow for still dealing with me after that. But we came pretty far down that road. I had a person that signed on to manage me. We were working on Mall Dog. Oh, Mall Dogs, this is the last year. I said I wanted to do a film. Like I was doing everything I wanted to do, because my plan was like, okay, my wife's going to go back to school soon. Once the kids are a little older, I'm going to be the chauffeur and taxi driver and take kids back and forth to school, stay home. And around here, I started discovering, I don't know if this was this record. Yeah, it was like around, I also discovered Twitch around this time. And so my plan was to stream on Twitch, stay home, swim in my pool, and then work on making money, like investing, property management, different things to make money and get us another place where we can weather out the apocalypse that I still believe is coming.
1 year left.
Commercial. Shout out to bombshelter.com. If you don't have the app, please download the app. It's where you can listen to dopest, newest hip-hop. They're making new shows every fucking week. It's free. And I used to be clean. I don't know if it's clean all the time now. I think it's clean between certain hours. But just download the app. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're still into indie hip-hop, these are grown men with no children and lots of time and a great ear for music. So they have time to invest in curating a playlist for you that you may not know you love already. Bomb Shelter app. Download it. But anyway, I sat down with them. They have had the longest terrestrial radio, one of the longest running terrestrial radio underground hip hop shows. They brought us to Reno early 2000s. And I don't know if we talked about them, but their brothers, Todd and Scott. Their mother is Italian, so they are Italian. And God bless BB Lee and Bob. But the brother Scott cooked fettuccine Alfredo. I immediately put ketchup on it. Legitimately wanted to fight me. Legitimately. I'm putting ketchup on your fettuccine. I'm putting ketchup on pupusas. I don't give a fuck, bro. Respect the American salsa. They had a fucking wolf. They took a snowboarding for the first time. I always thought that people said snowboarding was like surfing and like skateboarding. Skateboarding is skateboarding. Surfing is surfing. Snowboarding is snowboarding. Don't let many motherfuckers tell you there's any fucking similarities. Being able to pop out mids, as the motherfucking King Aesop, the Black Wolf, used to say, is You pop out mids on a surfboard, you're in the water with other creatures. You pop out mids on a skateboard, you tuck, roll, you're on your feet, you grab your board, you try it again. There's no swimming to the shore. There's no getting rocked by a bunch of waves and damn near drowning. Same thing with snowboard. You want to pop out of, whatever, heading downhill you don't like, you can't pick up the fucking board and walk down the hill. This motherfucker Lucky almost died at that motherfucker, bro. Like, you see a tree and you think that's the tree. No, the tree is 16 feet tall. You're just seeing the 6 feet of the tree that's above the deep ass snow. This motherfucker fell into whatever they call the hole. We had to like line up and pull him out of there, bro. That was at the top of the mountain. I didn't like the ski lift to fucking begin with. Where's the fucking seatbelt? Bruh. Nah. I was like, never again, bro. The fuck is this shit? Then I can't I'm just gonna fall in this cold ass shit and get snow all in my boots and my pants and my nuts, bro. Fuck you. No. I tried snow skating before that, like inline skates. There's snow boots with little skis on the bottom. I love that. There's more control. I might try skiing one day. Snowboarding, get fucked. Anyways, shout out to Todd and Scott. They brought us for that experience. Now I know. And we just stayed friends. They played video games. I played video games. ASAP, me and him, Todd and Scott had a lot in common, and they just love the culture, and they're entrepreneurs. So they own 2 Beach Hut delis in Reno currently. Please, if you're ever in Reno on your way to Burning Man or to Tahoe this ski season that starts to start up, please visit one of their locations. Like dope ass graffiti murals, video games, and the food is bomb. Beach Hut is bomb. Yeah, so they've been playing our music for years. They've been friends of the crew for years. And he sat down and like Aesop and him, like he tried to convince me that about being a PC, like motherfuckers who don't have iPhone type shit, but not Todd. Todd is balanced. But Todd was like, yeah, like, I know Aesop's been talking to you, like the PC master race is what they say. And I was like, I'm not playing games on PC. I'm not playing with a keyboard and mouse. And then he told me about this dude named Lyric on Twitch and how he was making like 6 figures a month. I said, just like most of you guys said before the pandemic, what? Motherfuckers watch motherfuckers play video games? This is 2013, 14. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Took me to a bomb-ass breakfast place, and I'm like, no way. And then when he told me the money, I was like, all right, now this is something I can do for money. I'll figure this shit out. Play video games. It's technology. I was like, all right, really, if, talk to Ali or whoever, like, I always had the newest technology, like iPod, first do an iPod, first do an iPhone, first do a BlackBerry, first do with a portable DVD player, Living Legends. Like, I'm like, give me the gadgets. So I'm like, cool. He built me a PC. He taught me how to stream, taught me how to play League of Legends, whatever the fucking game is, what the fuck, Rocket League, all the shit. Shouts, there's still somebody I had a team called the Obamaholics. So it had to be 2012, so damn. And they still remember that from our first stream, way before the pandemic. And so I was like, yeah, I'm going to stream on Twitch and fuck it. And, and then I said, okay, well, I'll sign this. Approaching Strange the first time, they went basically and they're like, you know too much to get an artist deal. Why would you want to sign with us? And then later on, the vice president told me, like, you understood the contract more than any artist or their lawyers that ever signed to the label, because that's how much a nerd I was and I am about the music business. And I was like, yeah. And they're like, so then I signed with Dame. And then after, when I came back a few years later, because we had a mutual friend that said they wanted to manage me, they were cool with tech. They were going to pick me up and manage me and help me navigate the system, because I didn't want to have to deal with the business side with my friends, Trav and Tech and Dave and everyone over there. I just wanted to be friends and be an artist. And she had a working business relationship with them. I'm like, cool, let's do it. You man that ship. I'll get with the artist and try to like create like, because Cess Crew's over there. I'm like, Cess Crew my fans would love Cess Crew. If you guys haven't heard Cess Crew or UBI, listen, I was like, there's a group of Mayday and Cess Crew. Let me take them with me and introduce them to my fans, to the Def Jux Pay Dues crowd, because this is the Backpacks, Rhyme Sayers. Like, they would love them.
Look at the way they hating on us like we had a deal already. Steady as we go. I could have been the one to tell them that we didn't, but it's hit and go. Head get a dose. Sets in the building, better be gone before we blow the roof off of this MF. I don't want to get sidetracked in the Maybach. Blowing dope with them heifers, I'm a handful. So would you be, so it's like you fucking with a pair of double D's. I've been screaming out the shit I mean about, and all I gotta say is motherfucking cheese. Hit him in buckle knees, get him in line, I'm about to go spam on a man, I'm on a roll. Couldn't have been the reason why you acting like a bitch. Pussy popping on a pole, what am I doing here?
There's some non-technicians that will love them, and the technicians that love them are free to come over to this side with us. Like, and go in between them. I think there's a lot of people that would love tech too. I'm like, let me bring some of my people over to see you. And my fans were just like, no. Strange music fans are so open-minded, so committed, and so loyal. I love you all. A lot of my fans, or a lot of the fans, not my fans, the fans on the indie hip hop side are full of shit, liberal, still lightweight racist motherfuckers. They want to see a white person on stage. They don't want to see much else. People say whatever they want about juggalos and technicians, but juggalos that are technicians are like, they had their white rappers to worship. They saw tech and they're like, this speaks to me more. Whether they thought he was better lyric, and he is better. He's a better rapper. I'm fucking with this. I'm fucking with this and this. I don't care that he's black and I don't care that they're white. I just love fucking good hip hop that speaks for the underdog. And that's what our shit in indie hip hop is supposed to be. But we have so many politics and motherfuckers, think they're woke and they're not really. Listen to And This Is For.
And this is for. Man, I do the same music. They stop coming to shows. It's like they scared of the white boys in the front row. First I was like, so I'ma get my dough, but the numbers kept falling as my fan base would grow. And now I'm concerned, so I gotta speak up. First the money was the only thing shutting me up, but now I don't care. Don't support me, get mad. Why wouldn't you abort me? My own people have. I feel I should have the scans white rappers have. It's sad, but that's the way it is. What's the reason that my album doesn't sell like his? And don't front like you don't know why the hell that is. It's because he's white. You can relate to his face. Through the years you've been taught that black is unsafe. Plus it's only natural for your own to be embraced. Conscious or subconscious, you can't say that ain't the case. Only reason it took so long to take place was up until now your only choice was third base. For others like Ice wasn't really that tight. Now you got some white dudes who can truly rock the mic. You relate to their stories cause you share that past. Question is, why would you listen to Murs' black ass? I asked myself for a while, but now I finally get it. Good music transcends all physical limits. It's more than something that you hear. It's something that you feel when the author and experience and passion is real. Used to feel I should be silent. I was scared to do this song, but I want everyone aware of what is going on. Yes, it is jazz, and yes, it is the blues, and yes, it is the exact same way they did rock, but I refuse to watch the same thing happen to hip hop. I refuse to watch that bullshit. And this is for.
Shit still rings true for some, but it's not all white people into indie music, and I hate that people put themselves under the banner. I'm talking to specific motherfuckers, and the motherfuckers I'm talking to probably aren't listening. But yeah, so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna come over. So this time I did it, and they're like, why are you accepting this deal, basically? And I was like, because they had the same radio person that Warner Brothers had, and I love that guy. And I was like, I have a friend who's now producing platinum records, Jesse Shatkin, and he's going to work on this record for me, and I need somebody to take these records to radio. Please. That's why I'm saying I don't need the money. I know that it's not the best deal to make money. It's a standard artist deal. And Strange is not giving out worse. They're giving actually better deals than most major labels. But there was no ownership in the masters, all these things that the common record label does. But they were like, why? And I was like, this is why. I need you to know that I know that this is not favorable, but, or, this is, whatever. This is a standard. I need you to know that this is a standard record deal, and I can pick out everything that's could be better for the artist. But overall, you're giving me a home, you're giving me a fan base, you're giving me tour support. Like, you're giving me way more than a major label gave me, and that's somebody coming from the major label. So that's why I want to sign, and I believe in you. And could have been foolish. I didn't know what was coming up. But I think that will cover the lost years and bring us in to have a nice life. Thanks for listening to the Best Rapper in LA podcast. Make sure you subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing on Spotify, Apple, wherever it is. If you like the show, leave a review on Apple Music or Spotify. And to support the podcast directly, go to patreon.com/MURS316, Murs316. See y'all next week. Peace.